Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the lab. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome back to the lab off hours. So today we are finally going to start writing some bloody tests. It's been a while. It's been a long time coming, but oh my goodness. So let me just kind of catch you up. So we are just off of the video where we did part 2 of the raids and bits code. So that PR is still up. But what I would like to do is I would like to add some tests to this PR. At this current state. I'm going to do it as a separate PR, so I am currently on a different branch called Message Test, and I'm going to basically create a PR against the Raids and Bits PR, and I do that just so that it's a little bit more consumable instead of having a one large PR, because I've split these up to account for if somebody has already started looking, which I'm pretty sure they haven't because I haven't messaged in Discord yet. So what I've done is, for starters, we are in a file called Message Test. This is in the IRC package. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to test, I want to add tests for the message parsing. So we want to test parse IRC line, I think is what we want to call this. And T is a testing.t. We can import that. And so what I did is I grabbed a couple of samples of raw IRC messages for a chat message, for bits, and for a raid. And so this is going to give me, in theory, enough fodder to fully test each of those pieces of functionality. Now, normally we would have written these, we would have potentially written these tests first, but what can you do? The other side to this too is that, so actually we do not have the parse IRC line logic inside of message at the moment. We actually have that inside of IRC itself. And I think that's okay. I think what we can do more or less is we can actually, you know what? Yeah, let's start from there. Let's do a test parse IRC. And so what I would like to do is, instead of these being like so, I would instead like for this to be some constants. So this is chat message. And this is going to be way down at the end. It's message. We'll just kind of let the formatter deal with formatting. They work so hard for us. Raid message. Same concept. Unknown escape sequence. Oh. Do I have to backtick this? Yeah, just need to tick it. Okay. That's okay. So these are basically just raw IRC messages that I actually pulled this morning right before I started this video. And I just changed some of the... I just changed some of the variables, and I am gonna change this to assistant 1, assistant 1. My cat is attempting to climb on my keyboard. She too is very excited for the prospect of tests to finally exist in this code base. And what we could also do is we could also make this a message format. User ID, user type. Yeah. We could do that. I'm kind of getting in my own head about setting up this data a little bit. I think for now we'll just do this, and let's see where we end up. Parse IRC line, is that actually accessible? It is accessible. So first we're gonna do parse IRC line. So parsed equals parse IRC line. So this is gonna give us a message, and there are a number of things that we want to check. So number one, if parsed dot command is not equal to priv message t dot fail, or what is it, t dot log followed by fail now. Failed and stops execution. Execution will continue at the next test benchmark. Fantastic. Yeah, so we want effectively a fatal F. I keep forgetting if it's error F or fatal F because I keep jumping back and forth between testing and log. So expected priv message, but got an S, and this would be parsed.command. if I can type, oh my goodness. And we can more or less do a series of these types of messages. Now, yes, I am there. Where my thought was kind of going from earlier was that this is basically considered golden data. So it's data that has preset data values that we're going to be checking for inside of our test. And golden data can be both good and bad. Good from the perspective of it's just constant. You know exactly what to look for, in theory. The challenge is that if you change it, you then have to update a swath of tests to update that change accordingly. So the thought was, instead of having it as a constant, turning this into a function, and then inside of that function, you would give me, say, a username and a message, and I would spit out a valid priv message format. Which is actually kind of intriguing to me, but for the time being, we'll keep it as a flat message. So now we can say if parsed.params does not equal to yes, we can test. Same thing. And expected we can test as params, but got params. And let's actually update this. Okay. And next we need next. There's a T at the end of that. And then next we need tags parsing. If parsed.tag, and in this case we'll start with just do display name. Then p.fatalf does not equal to assistant 1. Expected assistant1 as display name tag, but got just to save me some typing. My brain actually just stopped there for a second. Oh my goodness. You can tell that it's early. Or perhaps I'm just nervous. Who knows? And that's more or less a very simple check. I feel like we should definitely check for 2. Check for a couple tags to ensure parsing happened properly. So we check for the command, we check for the params, we should also check for the user. If parsed dot user does not equal to assistant1, same thing. Expected assistant1 as user, but got parse.user. What else do we have? Tags, user, command, params. Okay, that should be good enough. And I want to check for one more tag. Let's do an ID one, or we should do an integer one. Turbo subscriber. Yeah, let's do subscriber. Why not? Just gonna do a copy pasta. So subscriber equals subscriber if and then subint error equals string conversion .a to I. Can you tell I've used that that function a lot recently? If subint, if error does not equal to nil, or subint does not equal to, actually this wants to be 1, expected subscriber tag expected 1 as subscriber tag, but got, and we'll get the raw value before the oops, not subint, this would be a subscriber, and we'll get the raw value just so we know. Okay. And that's basically just a simple testing approach that I kind of like to take with Go tests. To make it really easy, it's effectively a if something didn't work as expected, print that error and fail the test almost immediately. Almost immediately? Immediately? Yeah. Aha. Mmm. Oh, we're still printing out the log. That's nice. That's actually nice to see the logs. Okay. Yes, so that is because we have Oh, it's because we're just taking the params directly, which params includes channel, colon, and then the rest of the params. Do we want to change that? I think the short answer is yes. The tags user command channel. Do we dare introduce channel into the mix? Because I think AKA message content, we should just call it message content then. Yeah, I think we are. Contents. There, I did it. I just broke a ton of stuff. So we are going to have to change that. So we want to %s params contents g. Fix that up real quick. Same thing for you. Params contents g. And that was quick. But that does mean that the channel parsing does need to be done properly. So let's pop back into IRC and parse IRC line. Oh, that's very interesting. Hang on. Prefix, therefore parse username. Correct. So let me pop back into my message test here. Set wrap again. So we basically have tags all the way down to here. Then we end up with a username. Then we have the command. Then we have the channel. Then we have the contents. So what I think we need to do in here, next cursor point should be command, then channel, always have to remember to advance the cursor. Let's see. Then channel. I feel like we can probably trim prefix tokens cursor at this point. We can trim the hash. I can't think of a scenario where we would need the hash for parsing, and if we did need the hash, we could always just plop it back out. If that makes sense. Cursor plus plus. The rest should be the combined string beyond that. Would be trim prefix, strings join, token cursor, join on empty space, get rid of the colon. And I feel like I want to break this up a bit just for readability purposes, because this doesn't read particularly well at the moment, I think. So combined contents, mesh.contents equals string blah blah blah. All right, let's go test, see where we are. Hey, and we're back to completion. Which does mean though that we would want to add command user if parsed.channel does not equal to Medge Labs, sad day. Then t dot fatal f, expected Medge Labs as channel, but got Can you tell which language I come from? Go test. Everything looks good. Excellent. All right. So test parse IRC line effectively checks for all lines. The key is that we want to ensure that we are parsing the tags, the command, the channel, and the contents properly, and that message is then being formatted properly. That's kind of the goal. So once we know that this is tested properly, now we can start to look at other functions. So for example, func test raid message parsing. This is a testing.t. And so what we would like to do is, again, parsed equals, and now we can use parse IRC line, or we can at least assume that we can use parse IRC line, because the assumption is that it is testable. It is tested, so we don't have to test it again. So if parsed dot is raid message, actually in this case, if parsed is not a raid message, then we do a t.fatalf. Should have gotten a raid, or let's see here. Raid message not recognized as a raid. And then also if parsed dot raider does not equal to, did I change this to raider? I did. I also have assistant 2 for some reason. Let's make that consistent. Let's change raider to assistant 1. And let's also change assistant 2 to assistant 1. Can't quite recall why I was going down that path, but that's okay. And because I've typed it so much, user that should be used in below IRC messages. So we'll kind of screw ourselves for just a second to save ourselves more time overall. Assistant 1. We want to change this to assistant. So we save us some time there, but now we have to come back up here. Assistant 1. There we go. There. If raider does not raider should be sent S. But got %S. This is assistant, and then parsed dot raider. Kind of broke the format a little bit because well, reasons. I'll probably change those expected blah but got blah. Just because I like the shorter form now that I actually see it. Yoink, blunk. If parse.raid size does not equal to 1, I think it was. Raid. I could probably clean these tags up just a little bit, but I wanted them to be as realistic as possible, just in case we wanted to expand it. Message param login, message param viewer count equals 1. Okay. Raid size should be E, but got D. Should be 1. We don't have to. I have to exacerbate that. Okay. And go test again. See where we're at. Doing good. And we can do pretty much the exact same thing for the bits, which is fantastic. So for this, we want bits message is bits message. Bits message not recognized as a bits. If parse dot bit sender should be blank but got blank. This should be bit sender. We want to make sure we're diligent about this. Parse dot bits amount does not equal to 1, then bits amount should be 1 but got bits amount. Let me double check that is actually the case. Bits is actually 100. Yep. So that should be good. All right. Go test. Ta-da. Fantastic. Oh, that feels so much better. Oh, that feels so much better. Okay. It's small. It is definitely a small win, but any amount of tests is greatly appreciated at this point. All right. So what we would like to do going forward, this is going to be a bit of a shorter message, just because there's a lot going on this morning. But let me double check real quick. So we got tag, we got add tag. We didn't test add tag, so we'll have to come back to that. We do want to test parse message type. IsRaid message, which technically we do as part of the IsRaid message. So maybe I skipped that because of from a coverage perspective, we do cover the parse message type, although we don't parse it for the default case. So we'll actually let's do that real quick. I think I have enough time for that. Func test parse message type. T is a testing.t. And let's see here. And what we would like to do is message type equals. And actually in here, what we could do is we could do a couple of tests. We could do a table-driven test. So struct input is say, oops, raid message. I don't know what it's doing right now. Rah raid message. Yes, it is super excited. And then expected is message raid. Poor thing's having a conniption fit this morning. Oh my goodness. Okay, so what we can do now, and actually this is going to be an array of structs. I think that's how we do it. I do need to actually look up the Go table driven test format because I always forget. So it is a array of struct, and then it's just okay. Nested curly brace. Cool. So then what we can do. Oh, sorry, this is wrong. Input is a string, and expected is an int. And then here we can say input of RAID message should return expected of message RAID. And we can add as many of these as we want. And now what we can do is for test equals range of tests. Result equals So actually this is on the message itself. So we are going to have to do message, or we should say parsed equals parse IRC line for test.input. Result equals parsed dot I think we can do this. Short circuit this just a little bit. Result dot parse message type. If result does not equal to test dot expected, then t dot fatal f expected and d message type but got %d. And I think I'm going to do a description as well, so that we don't necessarily have to print out the entire piece. We don't have to print out the entire message, but got ding for %s. And so this is so expected test.expected, but got result for test.description. And so now if we want to add a RAID message, a sub message, a GIF sub message, any other type that we add to message type, all we have to do is copy this, paste it, change the description, input, and expected, and this test should run through all of them for us. But let's make sure that I actually got the right format. I did. All right. So we are going to status get diff. So we have a couple of changes that we do want to account for. One change that we do not want to account for is the raw. Yeah, we don't need that. Don't need that log anymore. Very good. All right, so let's get add all. Git commit. And for here, add tests for message parsing, fix channel and contents being combined. And what we're going to do from here is we're going to open a PR from message tests back down into, was that out? Into RAID bits. And that's going to show us some of the additional changes. Oops, this is the wrong base branch. That'll just show us the changes that we made in response to the, oh, may I have to fix that? This will show us the changes in response to the tests, and then we get to see the tests in isolation. But that's going to do it for now. I'm going to have to close up, but thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much for stopping by, and until next time, stay curious. We'll see you soon. Cheers, everybody.